I told you this was coming. I have been telling you guys for months that not only would Skip Bayless be fired from Fox Sports, once it happened, it would be the end of his mainstream media career. And I didn't need inside sources to give me this information. I didn't need to spend 99 cents a minute calling the lovely Miss Cleo asking her to predict the future. I didn't need a PhD in media studies from Woke U to figure out that the marriage between Skip Bayless and Fox Sports, it was rapidly heading for divorce. Matter of fact, this is the second divorce that this channel has predicted for Skip Bayless. First, of course, was the brutal divorce between Skippy and Shannon Sharpe. Hey, it's me, Shay Shay! The only thing required to predict this divorce, it was the ability to read numbers. Look at the ratings, look at the contract, and you automatically knew this was not sustainable. You can't make $8 million a year and draw 40,000 viewers on television. Just like the Bruce Caboose on day one of the Butt Bongo Festival, that dog won't hunt. Question is, how did we get here, and where does Skip Bayless go from here? How did the pioneer of sports debate on television, how did the innovator of the genre, the man responsible for the careers of Shay and A, the man who spent nearly 2 decades at the pinnacle of success, how did he get to the point where his career is ending like a silent fart on the set of The View? If you're going to release the flatulence on The View, it better have some bass behind it. The Yentas, they don't like the silent whiffs. I'm going to tell you how Skip Bayless got here. I'm going to give you what I believe is the reason his career declined faster than revenue in the WNBA dump. And I'm going to tell you why there is no chance of revival. It's over. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. January 2023. The marriage between Skippy and the grown man who calls himself Shay, it's on life support. During the final months of 2022, the once passionate couple, they began arguing on the air. Skip was bitter because Shay was criticizing Tom Brady. Shay was bitter because his partner thought that he was jealous of Tom Brady. It's very strange, very weird. 2 men arguing over another dude, with one being angry about it and the other being jealous. January 2023, Damar Hamlin, he collapses live on Monday Night Football. It was a scary situation. Thankfully, Damar Hamlin made a full recovery. But during the chaos on social media, Skip Bayless, he tweeted his thoughts wondering how the Bills and the Bengals were going to make up the game. Game had playoff implications, and with it being, I believe it was week 17, there was no time for the NFL to reschedule the game. Now, was the question ill-timed? Sure. Was it probably not the best time to be thinking about that, especially in a public setting? Sure. Did it make Skip Bayless an evil white man plagued with mythical racism? No. The amount of backlash that Skip Bayless received from the wanker spankers on social media, it was absolutely ridiculous. You would have thought that Skip Bayless was starving Fido's puppies. Grown men, and grown men pretending to be women. They were ruthless in their personal attacks on Skip Bayless. Now, to his credit, Skip Bayless had the balls to show up to work the next morning. Can't say the same for the grown man who calls himself Shay. No! Shay couldn't come to work. He was too emotional. I was crying all night. I couldn't sleep. I was so upset with Skip Bayless and his comments about Damar Hamlin. I just couldn't face him the next morning. This channel was one of very few, if not the only one, who defended Skip Bayless at the time. But at that moment, it was the beginning of the end for Skip Bayless. At that moment, his career was over. Now, most people will claim that Shannon Sharpe filing for divorce ended the media career of Skip Bayless. Now, there's no doubt That's definitely part of it. I never mind admitting when I'm wrong about something. For years, I downplayed the significance of Shannon Sharpe. I said Skip Bayless was the star of the show. And to be honest with you, at the time, I wasn't necessarily wrong. Skip Bayless was the star of the show. But Shannon Sharpe, he made me eat my words because Shannon Sharpe, he has become a giant in sports media. His YouTube channel with Ocho De Niro, or whatever the hell Chad Johnson's calling himself nowadays, they're a great duo. Now, I refuse to watch it when Gilbert Arenas is on there. I mean, if I wanted to watch The Village Idiots, I would just watch CNN. But Shannon Sharpe, he's done very, very well for himself, and I'm not taking anything away from the man Shay when I say this, but a small part of the reason for his success, small part, he was viewed as the ultimate victim in his divorce from Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless was vilified, he was demonized, while Shannon Sharpe was viewed as the damsel in distress. Now again, Shannon Sharpe, part of the reason for the decline of Skip Bayless, but the main reason for his decline, he is no longer Skip Bayless. Now maybe some of it has to do with age, but I think a lot of it has to do with fear. The Damar Hamlin situation and the subsequent divorce from Shannon Sharpe, it scared Skip Bayless into silence. Think about it. When you think of Skip Bayless in his prime, what do you think of? His 20-year obsession with LeBron James, his unique ability to criticize LeBron no matter what he accomplished. I mean, LeBron James could win the NBA Finals, and Skip Bayless, he would criticize him for missing free throws during a preseason game in October. LeBron could hit the game-winning shot, and Skip, he would criticize him for not passing the ball to a wide-open Daniel Gibson, who for reasons unknown preferred to call himself Boobies. What the hell's with these athletes wanting to go by these feminine names? Shannon Sharpe wants to be called Shay Shay. Daniel Gibson calls himself Booby. What the hell's going on here? All kidding aside, though, Daniel Gibson seems like a great dude, had a good career in the NBA. But anyway, when you think of prime Skip Bayless, you think of his unrelenting support of Tim Tebow. Now, Tim Tebow, great guy, good Christian man, great role model for kids. But as an NFL quarterback, Tim Tebow was a bum. He was a scrub. For some reason, Skip Bayless thought he created heaven and earth. He worshipped at the altar of Tim Tebow, who was busy worshiping the real God. Baker Mayfield was another player he fully supported. The point is, when you think of prime Skip Bayless, you think of someone who wasn't afraid to piss people off. He wasn't afraid to aggravate you by being completely unrealistic. Now, some people call it shtick, some people call it a gimmick. Gimmicks don't last 20 years. The reason it worked, the reason for his longevity in sports media, a career that has lasted longer than I've been alive, is because Skip Bayless was always Skip Bayless. After the Damar Hamlin backlash and the subsequent divorce from Shannon Sharpe, Skip Bayless completely changed. I haven't seen the real Skip Bayless in well over a year. I'll be watching a segment of Undisputedly Boring on YouTube, and it might be 10 minutes before Skip Bayless says a word. He will be sitting there while Keyshawn Johnson is doing his best impersonation of John Biden, saying a bunch of words without making a single point that people understand, all the while putting the dozens of people still watching this garbage to sleep. After that, Paul Pierce will chime in. Sometimes Rachel Nichols will be on the show. Rachel Nichols, great reporter. She was a great host for shows like NBA Today, but you can't debate with Rachel Nichols. It's just not entertaining. When Skip Bayless finally gets a chance to speak, it's a watered-down version of the man he once was. He's afraid to say anything controversial. He's afraid to be mean. He's afraid to hurt feelings. As a result, the entire show comes across inauthentic and boring, and in the business of entertainment, that is a death sentence when it comes to ratings. The reason Skip Bayless was fired by Fox Sports, well, Casey, he wasn't fired. It was mutual. He's leaving the network. Call it whatever the hell you want. Fox is showing Skip Bayless the respect that he's earned by allowing him to leave with dignity, but let's just be real here. More than likely, he was fired. Whether he was fired or whether he made the decision to put himself out of his ratings misery, it really doesn't matter. The result is still the same, and the reason is still the same. The reason Skip Bayless is at this point is because he is no longer Skip Bayless. So, where does he go from here? Stephen A. Smith owes his revitalized media career to Skip Bayless. Maybe there will be a reunion between Stevie and Skippy? Doubtful. Stephen A. has been vocal about wanting to keep a rotating panel on First Take. Plus, we don't even know if Stephen A. Smith will be working at ESPN by this time next year. Well, Casey, Skip can start his own YouTube channel. Yeah, he's tried that. It's a huge embarrassing failure. I know this looks easy, but it is incredibly difficult to sit in front of a camera by yourself and hold people's attention. Not everyone can do it, and that's okay. That's okay. That is not one of his strengths. Skip Bayless is not a solo performer. He feeds off the energy of his debate partner. Problem though for Skip Bayless, there's not another Stephen A. Smith. There's not another Shannon Sharpe. It is damn near impossible to recreate that kind of chemistry. And really, Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe weren't dominating the ratings. He was dominant with Stephen A. on First Take, but Skippy and Shay, they were doing well to average 170,000 viewers. The problem for Skip Bayless, he is completely reliant on someone else to be effective. And that someone else needs to be high profile. They need to have good chemistry. And more importantly, they need to be willing to work with Skip Bayless. Where are you going to find that? Where are you going to find a network willing to invest the money? Have you seen Skip Bayless in the past 12 months? He is a shell of his former self. Who is going to be willing to invest in a neutered, watered-down Skip Bayless? It's over. It's over. And there's nothing wrong with that. Look, Skip Bayless had a phenomenal career. The man pioneered the genre of sports debate on television, and honestly, I don't think he gets the respect that he deserves. I'm sure Skip Bayless will try to revive his career. The man's a workaholic. He has stated on numerous occasions that his work is more important than anything else in his life, but I just don't see it working out. But give me your thoughts on this. Skip Bayless leaving Fox Sports at the end of the summer. He was fired, or maybe it was mutual. Either way, he's gone. Is the media career of Skip Bayless over? Do you think he gets the respect he deserves? Let me know. Sound off in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share the video. Appreciate your support. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.